Alberta Primetime with Michael Higgins.
Welcome to Alberta Primetime. Ahead tonight, our politics panel on what is to come in the wake of Monday's provincial by-elections. But first, heading for the legislature.
I would like to introduce to you the MLA for Edmonton Strathcona, our leader, nawhead Nenshi.
Nawhead Nenshi handily winning a seat in Monday's series of by-elections, paving the way to the legislature 1 full year after having won leadership of the Alberta NDP. The party also holding on to Edmonton Eldersley. And Nawhead Nenshi joins us now. Mr. Nenshi, congratulations, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I have to point out, as I never do, that Christina Gray made a mistake there. I've been told this morning that I am the MLA elect for Edmonton Strathcona. We have to wait until the results are final. But can I just say before we get into this that Christina Gray, who you saw there, has been the leader of the opposition officially for the last year. She's been amazing. And frankly, she's the only New Democrat who lost last night because I'm taking that job away.
Well, and obviously you've been sitting on the sidelines in that time while Christina Gray has been handily running the ship. A 1 year wait, though, how much of an actual turning point does this by-election win represent for you?
It's more symbolic than anything else, and it's sort of under the hood more than anything else, because I have been working more than full-time this entire time. The only thing is, for the 12 or 13 weeks of the year that the legislature was sitting, I think it might have been 16 this year, I wasn't literally in the House. I was sitting in the gallery for those minutes. So a lot will change under the hood in terms of making my life a bit easier, in terms of what I can access, what I can do, and so on. Certainly, Christina's life will be a bunch easier, but I'm not sure people will see much of a difference in terms of us being in their lives and talking about what's important to Albertans.
Okay, well, now, much was made going into these by-elections of how you and your party have been struggling in the polls against the UCP, that maybe more was expected to come with your arrival a year ago. Now that you do have a seat, when do you put a significant nawhead Nenshi stamp on the party?
Well, I think we've done that already. 89.5% in the leadership review is nothing to scoff at. But, I will say that the polls have been all over the place. There have been some that have shown that we're really doing well, some shown we're doing poorly. At the end of the day, the joke that politicians always use is polls are for dogs and firefighters. What really matters is on election day. And last night, we had an amazing night for the Alberta New Democrats. We actually matched the highest voter turnout, or highest voter percentage we've ever had in Edmonton Strathcona. We matched 2015, which was our high point there. And in fact, even in olds-didsbury Three Hills, we got more of a vote percentage than the Alberta New Democrats have ever had in that riding. And so it was ultimately a very, very good night for us. In Edmonton Eldersley, those polls you're referencing would have said we might have lost Edmonton Eldersley. In fact, we won it by double digits in a very tightly fought race where the UCP put everything they could in order to finally win a seat in Edmonton. So I'm feeling very good electorally about where we are now, because I think Albertans have really said we're not satisfied with the Premier, we're not satisfied with Danielle Smith and the UCP, and they took this opportunity to send her a message.
How worried, though, were you about the NDP retaining Edmonton Eldersley, about maybe the UCP making inroads there?
Yeah, well, I always worry. I always run every election like you're 10 points behind. And even in Edmonton Strathcona, where people like, now you don't really have to focus here, we ran hard in Edmonton Strathcona. Edmonton Eldersley is interesting, and I know folks who are watching the show are interested in politics, so I'll delve into it just for a second. It was interesting because the federal election seemed to indicate that there may be an opening for Conservatives in places like Eldersley, suburban neighborhoods, relatively well off, very highly ethnic populations. But and that's why the UCP spent so much time and money playing all kind of games, spending a bunch of money, attempting to win there. But the people of Edmonton Eldersley really said no. We're smarter than that, and we want to vote for the kind of Alberta that we want. And by the way, a big chunk of that was a government that doesn't take us for granted, a government that focuses on the cost of living, the economy, healthcare, education, crime, which is a very big deal in that neighborhood, especially organized crime. But also the biggest thing across all three by-elections is that people are really angry about the Premier's flirting with separatism. And they really see the Alberta New Democrats as the only option for a party that will fight for a strong Alberta and a strong Canada.
The legislature isn't scheduled now to resume sitting until the last week of October. That's a full 4 months before you can finally face off against Premier Smith. How do you and your party best use that time?
Well, just as we've been using the last year, this is really our opportunity to speak with Albertans directly about the fact that, our slogan in this last election was better is possible. You don't have to settle for what the UCP is offering. That better is possible and that we offer better. So, as of Friday, I'll be at the Ponoka Stampede. I'm looking forward to spending the summer traveling across Alberta and just speaking with Albertans about their interests, their needs, and what they're worried about, and showing them how we may be a great solution for them.
Is that a showdown with the Alberta Next panel that is about to launch?
Here's the thing. If I'm the Premier, I realize that of the 4 by-elections that have been called since I was the Premier, I've lost 3 of them. I dropped 15 points in olds-didsbury Three Hills, which is absolutely the heartland of conservatism in Alberta. That's where Pierre Poilievre is running federally. If she drops 15 points consistently across the areas that are her stronghold, there's no way she keeps government. So it's very clear that Albertans are saying, look, you got to do better. And her response to that is another do-nothing panel wasting millions of dollars of taxpayers' money on a report that's already been written before they talk to anybody, that's simply designed to stoke division and fear and anger and pit neighbor against neighbor going into these referenda. So here's the thing, Michael. Unless the courts stop her, or unless she calls a snap election and we win, we will have a referendum on separation next summer. That means nobody is investing $1 in Alberta if they don't know what country Alberta is going to be in. That means no pipelines, no sequestration projects, nothing. Our economy is on ice because of the Premier's mishandling of the economy. And so we're going to make that very, very clear to people. We've got the highest youth unemployment in the country, 20% for young men in Alberta. And we're going to be making it very clear that with a better provincial government, it doesn't have to be this way. And they can have every panel they want. They can give as much taxpayer money to their cronies and their friends as they want. It doesn't change the fact that they don't know how to handle the economy.
All right. We'll have to leave it there for time. Appreciate your time this evening, Mr. Nenshi.
Always a
Always.
pleasure,
Thank
Michael.
you.
We'll talk again soon. Have a great Alberta summer.
Nawhead Nenshi, leader